But Courtney, joking aside about that date that never happened, are you now a Sam Claflin fan?
I'm starting to become one, but I haven't even. It's because he's Finnick, and it's because I know Tiffany has loved him like before all this hubbub, and I trust her judgment. And obviously, he did something in the audition that no one else did, so I'm more like curious than anything. But I can see it, and I'm really excited to see what he does. But I do plan on seeing his movies. But even then, I don't think that will prepare me for what's to happen.
Yeah.
Well, from what I understand, Courtney, you're well known as a great student of Tumblr and a tracker of Hunger Games trends, among many other talents. And this is what I've seen, and I'm not nearly as involved as you are every day in seeing what other people are writing. But the feeling I got was when Sam Claflin's name was first brought up, I think the problem is people have their hearts set on other actors like Armie Hammer, Garrett Hedlund. A few people were saying Taylor Kitsch at one point. So I think Sam Claflin kind of caught people by surprise. But once his name was actually declared, I've been seeing a lot of people come out of the woodwork and saying they love Sam Claflin and they think this is a great choice. Have you been seeing that in your Tumblr searches, or do you have a different story of the general reaction to all of this? I think,
a lot of people for the most part have been, going with it and making those edits, and I've seen a lot of, I think I've seen more people excited than any hate towards it. But I mean, if you guys are like, if you're bummed or disappointed, I mean, it's okay. Like, I have always thought that no matter who was going to get cast, everyone was going to be disappointed regardless because, everyone was looking up to this so much. Everyone has their own vision of the character. Everyone has, like, a certain opinion on an actor. At least some good percentage of the fandom was going to be disappointed. And it's just because it's such a, huge character. But, I mean, that's why we have casting directors, and I think he's going to be awesome. I am a faithful person, and I trust Lionsgate. But for the most part, I've seen everyone embracing the fact, probably because it's official, he's not going anywhere. But I think all the people who, if they don't like him, they're at least waiting to see what he does.
No, I think that's a great point. And you know what else you mentioned, which I think is really on target? When you talked about that there were going to be people who were disappointed, you really can't compare this casting. This without question, Savanna, you would agree, was the marquee new character, at least from the fan perspective, for Catching Fire that everyone was caught up with.
Absolutely, and right? I think, you know what, I want to clarify. You asked me earlier if I was surprised, and no, I wasn't surprised that it was him, but what did surprise me was that we got the Finnick announcement last Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone, because like you just said, for fans, he is, like the most loved and the most anticipated character in Catching Fire. I think everyone was assuming that he would be the last announcement that we would get, so while I wasn't shocked that it was Sam, I was shocked that we got it so early.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Because everyone was basically saying, oh, we're not going to find out Finnick until the very end. They're going to, have everybody else released. And then it was like, what? Finnick was announced? It was just, I think, astonishing more than anything.
Yeah.
That caught people off guard. So, yeah, I had that surprise, too. In fact, I think you're the one who broke it to me over GChat. Because I didn't even realize that it happened because I wasn't on Twitter at that moment. And you were right on top of that. What I think I was going to say that you were saying, Courtney, what people have to remember is when the main marquee castings for The Hunger Games came out, and this was Jennifer Lawrence, was obviously the biggest one, but then Josh Hutcherson and Liam Hemsworth were on the same day, the very first day of our podcast, as we said before. A great omen, I think. Yes, there were many, many, many devoted Hunger Games fans, but it was nothing like the level that you have now. it's just exploded so much beyond that point. And so now you have people who've been speculating on who Finnick is going to be for months and months and months. And it was inevitable that people were going to have an image in their head, and that there was just no way that any actor, no matter who it was, could possibly be that person, unless it was the exact guy that this fan had anointed for the role. So I think you cannot judge the instant reaction. And here's what I will say, really positive things about Sam that I've noticed. One, he's very charismatic. In every interview I've seen, he really seems to be a great guy. He's personable. He's funny. He's nice. And also, and this goes out to some of the people who were Sam Claflin fans before all of this, I've really enjoyed actually getting their take on Sam, because they're very ardent supporters, but they also seem a lot more rational than I expected. I thought, this is not the Taylor Lautner fan club. No offense to Taylor Lautner, who seems to be a perfectly nice guy off set. But this is not just because he's good looking and he took off his shirt in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I mean, these are people who have watched his work and through, I guess, admiring his thespianship, have become fans, and also the way he looks, but it's not a completely superficial thing. So to me, as a guy who likes to sort of monitor trends and can't really say that this one's as good looking as that one as well as maybe you can, Courtney, Savanna, and Mary, I'm very excited to see that Sam Claflin has this group of supporters, because I think they're great, and I'm very excited to welcome them, just as we welcomed a lot of Taylor Swift fans when Safe and Sound came out into the Hunger Games fandom. We hope that you'll not only appreciate Sam as Finnick, but the entire series. So welcome aboard, Sam Claflin fans. Sorry, I know that was a long speech. Savanna, is there anything you want to add to that? I apologize for taking the floor for so long.
You mean about his pre-existing fan base?
Yeah, or just in general, just, reactions from fans or from people who already knew a lot about Sam, who may have seen the movies that you watched all week.
I don't really have anything to add. I've just seen a lot of very positive comments from his fans, the fans that he had before all of this. They seem to be very, very nice. And I haven't seen anyone making any rude comments like, if you are just now becoming a Sam Claflin fan, you aren't a real fan, because we've been there since the beginning. I haven't seen anyone say anything like that, which is really refreshing, because that's such a common thing to say, and it's so annoying. So, yeah.
Right. Remember all the people who are upset. It's like, if you didn't like the Hunger Games as of 2009, you're not allowed to be a fan or something like that, which is ridiculous. So yeah, I agree. It's been a very welcoming group. I also think, these castings. This is something Courtney touched on. We've touched on this before. Lionsgate has not failed up to this point. So why would they fail now? That's how I look at it. It's not like they just picked a picture out of an album and said, "Oh, Sam, you look like Finnick." That he obviously went into an audition and made an impression. Yeah, sorry. You
are speaking for yourself. For a lot of fans, sure. Lionsgate has failed. There are a lot of fans who will never be happy that Lenny Kravitz is Cinna. They will never
that's fair.
Fully embrace Josh as Peeta. So it's just a matter of perspective. And like Courtney said earlier, if you are disappointed or bummed out, that's totally okay. I've seen a lot of people who have been hateful towards people who have said, I'm kind of disappointed about this. And that's just really impolite, I think, because everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. And it's fine to be disappointed. I mean, we are fans of the books first. So, we're along for the ride with the movies, but if you don't like every single thing that Lionsgate does, that is totally okay and probably normal, actually.
No, that's true.